Hello, and welcome to the show From Ground to Great, a business aviation and personal growth podcast. I'm your host, Danny Ruiz Jimenez, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Jeremy Janousky and his friend Jacob, A.K.A. Shake. During the podcast, we talk about how Jeremy and Shake met through their fraternity, business aviation, how ideas are formed, and some ghost stories from Shake's life. Now, unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, some of the audio went missing during the recording. Thank you for understanding, and I hope you enjoy the episode. This recording was divided into two parts, one with Jeremy and his friend Jake, and another episode with just Jeremy Janousky focusing more on business aviation. Jeremy's episode will be released this week focusing more on just business aviation. Now, without further ado, here's the episode. Enjoy. So how did you guys meet each other?
We met through, so I recruited him into the fraternity we were both in.
Yeah, I'll educate you. What was it? We lived in a dorm room. It was called the Fountain, the UNF, and then yeah. What was that thing you were? Didn't you want us to like slaughter a goat or something? Yeah, you wanted us to line the bathroom with plastic and turn the lights off, and we had to kill a goat with our bare hands.
Yeah, something like that. And they got all the thoughts and I got them convinced that they were actually like go out do it. But
That's no, it isn't. The way I heard. That's the way I heard was Hudson and Kevin and Gabe were like, "No, you can't do that," and you were like, "What's it matter? It's just a goat."
well, that's the whole point is really it's about at the end of the day it's about thank you it's about making the pledges like feel on edge, like they have to do something wild,
Like constantly, right? Yeah. I hear some stories from my friends back home. You know, they say basically you'd thin out the herd, right? Yeah. And see, who's actually willing to stick and who's willing to stay. So, what other stuff did you guys have to do? Or I don't know how much you guys are supposed to talk about the fraternity.
I'm the founding father of the chapter, so I never pledged.
Oh, no kidding!
I pledged to different fraternity so I did their whole pledgeship. It was my first semester of college. I did a pledgeship with DU. They wanted to extend it because a couple of the guys had like bad grades or whatever, and they started treating us like shit again. And I was like, "What the hell? You just started just acting like my friend. Like, what the fuck is this?" So I just dropped him, And then got an opportunity to start the chapter.
How do you start one? How do you start a chapter?
So right after I left DU, I had this girlfriend that I had for the whole rest of my freshman year. We broke up, and I was kind of like, no, like to do with myself, kind of beginning of a sophomore slump type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Reached out to the rabbi trying to find something, thinking I needed to like find my community in college. So one of the people was the rabbi, and he was like, actually within a few conversations said, we're actually going to be like starting like a pie or whatever. I'm bringing this guy down. I'm going to give him all your information. I'm like, okay then, whatever. I'm just being thrown into this.
No. You're there for the ride pretty much.
Yeah.
I Shmuley Novak.
Yeah, it was Shmuley, and that it was, you remember Kyle Whitlock?
Yeah.
He came down. It was me, Sam Winkle, the minus two guys, bunch of other guys that you probably never ended up meeting who just didn't stay.
Oh, what's his name? Chad?
Chaz. Yeah, Chaz, I'm still friends with.
Oh, okay. Well, who was the one, Brian? Didn't Brian throw like a screwdriver at Sam's nuts or something? Like the power cut out? I heard a story.
Power cut out? Wait. Oh, that's deadly. That's funny.
He chucked a wrench at like Sam's ball bag.
Yeah.
That's KO, man.
Some of the guys don't know what you're talking about because so many of them dropped within like a month or two. Oh, no kidding. It was just all, and then,
UNF was that kind of school, man. Some people come in, they drop within like a week or two.
well, it wasn't even, they didn't drop the school, they just dropped the fraternity. Yeah, they just dropped the fraternity. And we just had to, like, basically, Sam knew all these guys who were friends together, guys who you are good friends with now. Those guys were Kevin, Gabe, Jake, and I don't know if you knew them at that. I think you joined like a semester after.
Who hit me?
It was those three at least. It was Gabe, Jake.
Oh, Daniel?
Daniel Reaver's the original founding father, but
He was maybe sometimes.
he didn't.
By the time he came back, right?
He came back, but then left. And I don't. I think he's still alumni, but I'm not sure.
So what are the values of the fraternity? Because don't you guys have like a
I'm different about like just like loyalty and this for base. There's stuff we can't talk about, but the stuff we can talk about very generic, generic stuff that that really most college affiliated groups would probably say.
yeah whatever the poster board
Discipline.
yeah sayings. That's nice. Have you seen your fraternity or being in a fraternity help you out, like in, I don't know, like as you're older now? Or
Not bad. I would say, yeah. I mean, Jeremy recently reaching back out to me, talking to you guys, getting involved with aviation. That wouldn't have ever happened if it weren't for AEPI, you know what I mean? I was able to go to Washington, D.C., my only time ever going there via the fraternity.
Well,
First time in Vegas, or for none of our first time in Vegas through the fraternity.
That's cool. Like 10 days, right?
It was a long trip. We were there for a week, and a week in Vegas does feel like 10 days, because 2 days there feels like a long time.
Yeah, those properly reality. It was new reality.
just accept it.
It was a new place of residence for like a week. It was like taking out a month-long lease on an apartment and living there.
Like a whole life was spent there almost. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And that's all.
Well, it's like, we're both from Orlando, and it's like us being from Orlando, going to like Orlando for the first time as little kids, because that's what Vegas is like, but just for adults.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no accountability either.
Yeah.
Yeah. What goes in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I really want to go. I haven't gone yet. That's definitely on my bucket list.
The more I go there, the more I feel like it's somewhat like Orlando. Like when I drive from Tampa back to here and you see the skyline, like the roller coasters and the swing, at Icon Park.
Okay.
It looks very similar to the Vegas skyline.
Would you remember?
Yeah, Vegas is better developed though. Like it's got a history of being like a place you go out to have fun. Orlando's like too much like Disney, and then they built the adults.
Well, think about it. Vegas has 100-year-old history, while Orlando's is about half.
1970s.
Yeah,
They came in at the
half of that time.
Then you got Disney adults. You got the Disney.
Well, Disney's like, Orlando's like the reverse development of Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas was like adults and gambling, and strip clubs and bars. But Orlando's like
The kid-friendly.
kids and
I feel like it depends on the area that
towards cafe and a Lego store.
Yeah,
But now we're starting to get bars, and Las Vegas starting to get like Lego store.
Speaking of kid-friendly in Las Vegas, you know that Universal is doing a couple expansions. They're putting in a new Universal in Texas, north of Dallas. A kid-friendly one. So no thrill rides. Maybe they'll have like a Transformers ride at most or something. You know what I mean? Like a replica, maybe a Forbidden Journey thrown in there.
Forbidden Journey. You know what I'm saying? You ended up in Las Vegas.
But in Vegas, they're putting in a year-round Halloween Horror Nights park.
Oh,
They announced
year-round.
They announced both of these things last week.
What better way to suck the joy out of Halloween than make it all the time?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Especially if you get the, people get the annual passes and stuff, and they still go crazy. I don't know how you can get an annual pass.
Yeah, but that's like
and get the most out of it.
September comes around, you're like, I'm taking off every Thursday night, Friday night. I'm telling work, I'm telling the ale house that I can't be working Wednesday evenings past 10 because I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights every single day, and I do this till like November 1st, like September 10th to November 1st.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of, what you're saying, kind of removes the
magic.
Yeah, listen, inside, like it's limited, right? It's like this season.
About being like, it's March 20th, God, I want it to be Halloween Horror Nights.
From what I read, apparently they're going to do clever things, like, depending on the season.
Like a 9/11 themed house.
Yo, I'm not going in there. I don't know what's going to happen if
I can't say no.
That's funny.
Yeah, like, they're gonna, like, like Christmas, Valentine's Day, they'll do something creative with it, you know what I mean?
I know I shouldn't say it, but I want to.
I mean, whatever you want. It's going on Spotify, so.
You sure?
Yeah, go for it.
What, like a Jewish holiday that they're gonna do or something?
No, a big house themed. Let's say, come on, guys. Don't look at me like that.
I don't know what you're gonna say. Say it. If it's really bad, we cut it out.
All right.
Yeah. I guess you can tell why the rest of this section was removed, but enjoy the rest of the show. Hey, Jerry, what's the language that only you and like a select handful know?
Yiddish?
Yes, bro. Tell me about that. Tell me the story behind that.
You don't know any Yiddish.
He throws it out language.
Yeah. Your first language is Yiddish?
Yeah, my grandparents taught me Yiddish when I was like 2 to 3.
Oh, well, so you're fluent.
Not fluent anymore.
But you were.
Yeah, at one point. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what age did you stop like feeling like, oh, I'm not as fluent anymore?
Ooh, when my grandparents died.
How old were you when that happened?
My grandfather, like my first grandfather to pass, he was 88, so like 2010-ish. So I was like, 14, 15, just kind of stopped, and it wasn't really relevant anymore.
Because you spoke it with them most of the time?
Oh, yeah. I still speak it with my mom quite often, like in the house or something when I'm over at their place. We talk like English, right? Like how, like...
I don't know. It's just like it's the language that my family had, but I never was taught it.
From where? Like, oh yeah, all over Eastern.
Yeah, all over Eastern Europe. Yeah.
So the crazy thing about like Yiddish speakers and shit like that. I mean, I don't think you probably understand some bit of the slang, right? Like.
Oh yeah, and
yeah.
It's so much ingrained in American English as well. A lot of people don't even realize. Give me an example. Schmuck. Really?
Tuckus?
Schmuck is the biggest, but like, have you ever like schlepping something?
No.
Yeah.
What is schlepp?
Hey, let me carry that so you don't have to schlep it around all.
I'm sorry,
My putts?
Or, okay, aviation related, like, okay, if you're having a bunch of connecting flights in one day, that's a big schlep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and acting through Atlanta, geez, what a schlep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that.
Oy vey, yeah, oy vey is. These are absolutely what it's
to O pain or O pain and violence, O pain, oy vey Gewalt, like, it translates to directly what, like, O pain and violence, right? But that's like us in English saying like, oh my God. Like, you don't really have like, it's not like, oh my God, like you're not like praying to God or something, right? It's just something you just kind of, should you say,
Oh, bro,
I get sicky.
I know. You said your like curse words are so oddly specific, right? Like,
Man, yeah,
there's something about pulling something out of the ground or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What was that one?
See if I have that book over here. I have a whole book full of this shit.
all the curse words in Yiddish.
Yeah. That's a book. My mom got it. My mamala. That's Yiddish for mom. It's called, literally, the book is like dirty Yiddish or something.
Dirty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there. It's probably right over there. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Or it's somewhere. Not really. Ain't that hard.
Oh, we got Nikola Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's crazy that Thomas Edison really took his idea, man.
Thomas Edison.
And some people want it. He's a businessman, but man, really? You're not going to give him any credit?
Dude, Thomas Edison, fucking abusive towards Nikola Tesla.
Right.
Like, Nikola Tesla, I could get into this for hours, but
it's an idiot.
what a great, like, what a real inventor, you know what I'm saying?
He was a real inventor.
Gather good ideas, kind of like summons him a little bit, and it lets the ideas come to him. Like, he had almost like an extra antenna up here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of gather shit, right? A really weird guy. Edison, probably better at business than he was at being an inventor, creator, right?
Yeah.
But, and see if I can find this dirty Yiddish book.
I believe that that Tesla, like, allegedly invented time travel or something.
Man, I don't know. I think
That was mine close. I heard that.
that was like towards the end of his life, after his lab burned down, which, by the way, is a conspiracy that Edison paid to have his lab burnt down on Long Island. He just kind of went insane after that.
I would too.
I think he was autism spectrum, because a lot of that shit is like, it's pretty consistent. I mean, that lab was his thing, you know. That was
his life.
way. Everything was in that lab.
Yeah.
And what happened? Well, just kind of go.
What else? What else am I supposed to live for? Yeah.
Yeah. For by that time, I mean, geez, you're old. Maybe you don't have like that sort of
Strength to rebuild.
stamina. Plus, you have the pressure of, you know, being paid attention to. By that point, he was already, you know, like, famous, right?
Well, I think he was relevant in the time, but it wasn't like he was.
He was always sidelined.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
yeah. It's unfortunate, but same thing with Steve Jobs and who was the guy who actually had? I saw the movie, literally like 2 days ago, where Steve Jobs, he actually just went over to his friend's house and he saw that his friend made like a keyboard that connected to a monitor, so you could see, you know, raw his text, and he's like,
or
yeah,
improved
yeah, or improved, yeah,
creativity, yeah.
or they saw the potential of stuff. Yeah, no, yeah. His friend was like, oh, just like, it's whatever, you know. I just made a computer, like nothing crazy. Yeah, like my girlfriend's dad. I'll keep them anonymous. He claims, he's like 60-something years old. He claims that back in the 70s, he dreamt of a laptop. But like one night, he dreamt of the concept.
Right.
I believe it. He said he said he had a vision of the future that night, because he saw something that you wouldn't see for at least another 20 years. Yeah. You know what I think about ideas? I think ideas come to you, but ideas don't really care, like, who makes them. You know, like it's almost like a whispering or something.
Like a fishing?
Like it's almost like you get this like idea and you feel it. I don't know if you guys have ever had like a crazy like $1 million idea, or like something that comes to you and you're like, holy shit, and this is got it in 5 minutes. yeah.
And you don't have ideas as I'm waking up or as I'm falling asleep. Those are the only two times when I have like, I can solve problems. Like engineering shit. Yeah, like it could just kind of like, when, I don't know, when maybe the part of the brain turns off, like the conscious part, like 10 minutes before, just like,
yeah. And then that's where you should
get solved.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. But it's like a feeling that you get where with that idea where you're like, holy shit. Like, it's kind of hard to say where I see how many goals.
State where it's with you, and it's just kind of really yourself, right? Your true identity. You're alone. Like in my case, you're just kind of like in bed, falling asleep, and then just very like,
I took the light bulb.
It's just what sharing where almost that idea just kind of, it's like, oh, you're ready now.
Yeah. Yeah. You could
down up here.
You could even be like hanging out with some friends, and it could just be like, wouldn't it be nice if we had something like this, whatever that this is?
Yeah.
And then the light bulb is like, oh, and you're like, oh shit.
I think a lot of ideas tend to come to you when you're not so anxious or stressed, or
I think when you least think about it, yeah, like you don't expect it to happen.
well, when you're feeling good, or there's not much to do, not much responsibility. I mean, think about it. A lot of people, a lot of responsibility, not so creative. We're worried about the next thing. We're here, we're in this room, we're hanging out. Even I wouldn't be too shocked if someone came up with a better idea in this room. Now, I would wonder,
Someone that's in whatever they're doing was down. So people who are busier tend to be more creative.
No, people who are just kind of enjoying themselves in the moment, or away from their work.
I think there's a there's a couple arguments. I think, yes, that, but also if you're constantly doing something where you need to solve a problem, depending on what you run into, you may be forced to be creative in order to solve whatever that is. But I feel like
a new idea.
What you're going off of, Jacob, I think that's true, but sometimes you get so sucked into it. Like for me, for example, if I'm trying to solve a problem, I think so much about it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna depart myself from this right now. And I go distract myself, or just do anything, or be in the moment. What Jeremy was saying, and then like an idea will come, and you're like, oh shit, that's what I was like. That's what's gonna help me solve my problem. I don't know if that happens to you, or if you're just like, or you could actually just fully focus on whatever you're doing, and you're trying to figure out a problem, and it comes to you. For me, like I can't do that. I have to like separate myself from it momentarily. For me, I just see creativity as having an independent thought, not influenced by anyone else, whether it's practical or not. It's just original.
I've always known Shake to be that way. Some of the ideas you have are just completely out of left field.
I get.
You're like a left-handed pitcher pitching from third base. Like it's super far out and off and to the left.
That's what you need though nowadays.
He's some like nasty innovator.
Yeah, some of that comes up, and it's like, wow, like we've never solved. Because I mean, for most of the problems and stuff, there's ways to. I mean, that's like what a formula is. There's a certain way to solve a problem. But I feel like for nowadays, like imagine there's gonna be someone that comes along, kind of like I feel like Elon Musk. Like someone that comes along, and
I think he's pretty exceptional. Like
you're right,
in a century at least.
Yeah, kind of guy. And there's just a different way of thinking to do things that, I don't know, I think different societies need, like fucking Mozart, right?
Yeah.
Beethoven, yeah.
I think a lot of creativity is actually creating problems. Like in a good way, like you create something like the iPhone's a fucking problem. You can't develop apps, you got a huge issue there.
And if you that's true, that's something, people didn't know what they wanted,
Yeah.
Well, for example, the invention of cars was a practical solution, but obviously created, an insane amount of problems I don't need to get into.
Yeah, I think it had worse. They're probably doing all right. Yeah.
And again, it's a necessary, not evil, but comes with a lot of downsides. It's easily the most dangerous activity everyone does all the time. Though. And could we live without it? What's more dangerous than driving around all the time? Especially on 992. What's more dangerous than driving? Oh, now that like a normal person would do. Yeah, like not working, like just daily, just regular shit. I can't think of a more dangerous activity that everyone does all the time.
Maybe going to work.
That's driving. Where do you drive, bro? Upstate. Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm trying to think of something that. I mean, yeah, that's a good example. Okay. Maybe riding on a bike is more dangerous. It depends. Maybe, because those shits can explode. Like the batteries themselves will explode on you.
What?
Like vaping?
Yeah. Oh. I mean, I've never really known anyone who got into like. I know more people who've gotten to fender benders than I think broke the cap on their vape.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
I thought driving is a good
like my dad gets into a fender bender, like scrapes a little bit of a light pole, you know, every now and then. But like I've never seen him blow a cartridge.
Yeah. Like you can drive something fast enough to kill yourself and others in an instant.
Yeah.
But a vape, that takes over time, right? Those are isolated, rare circumstances where they explode. You know what I mean? Compared to how often are car accidents? Yeah, pretty every day. You can go to one of those maps and see where car accidents are happening. Like it is like pretty much. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I feel like most ideas they do like come with like maybe not like like more problems or like consequences of. But they're almost like essential, because it's like, for example, people that you lived without a phone and then got a phone. It's like, oh, it's kind of hard to,
do shit without aeration. We're the last people on Earth who, I don't know about you, but like Shake and I call him Shake, that's Fraternity or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I actually didn't know your name for like a year.
Just shit. Oh, you did. You didn't know that.
It was like a conspiracy, right? Like,
no,
it was like, I heard people say, like, name's Jacob, and it's like, but it was always shoot, yeah.
That's real, man. That's really like, that store, so in the beginning, like, when there was like 13 founding fathers, there only ended up being 2, but in the beginning, like, I was being like, Jacob, nice to meet you. And I was giving this, like, intense handshake.
Yeah.
At the time.
I remember body, like, went side to side, too.
Wait, when I walked?
Yeah, but, like, also, like, shaking the hand, like, like, you put your
Hold on out to this, making sure. Then I gave people firm handshakes for some reason. And I guess I tried a little bit too hard. so shake. Yeah. Shake came about. There's like, oh, go ahead. I've never really been in a group where I never ended up with a nickname, though. What's another nickname? Like, I worked at, have you been on the Rip Ride Rocket Ride at Universal? No. The big brand roller coaster? No, I've not been to Universal here. Yeah. Oh, you've been to California. Yeah. They called me Bojack, like from the show Bojack. Yeah, Horseman, yeah. There's no explanation for it,
You were the ride operator for that?
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? You launched people? You launched families from, like, the UK up.
You weren't thinking of me then.
Yeah, but I got this... I don't know.
I was so excited. There was always like,
It's pretty funny.
We were always talking about the group chat. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm at Universal, like free tickets or whatever. Yeah. I was like, I'll get you guys in, you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't remember that?
I have no recollection of it.
Oh man. I was like the plug for all of that. All the Universal stuff. That's just, yeah, but like, my aunt, like, she was retired at Disney because, then a Mickey Mouse costume, like, permanently, like, injured her shoulders, so she's on, like, disability. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, so she gets, like, tickets for life, and prior to COVID, she was just able to get us in all the time. Now, now she has to find out, like, 2 months in advance, and back then, it was, like, day of, I'll meet you at Epcot, I'll get you right in, you get all 4 parks. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I brought Onion, I brought Kevin, I brought Gabe, I brought Ari as well.
You never brought?
I never brought you. Sorry, because you weren't there. And probably was best that you didn't come because we all fucked with the Ouija board. What?
Well, no.
You believe in that? I don't really believe in it, but it was just like, why did we do it? Were you the one that moved the thing? Did you move it?
Hey, man.
It didn't really work.
No one really moves it.
Well, it's a psychology with
the other side moves it.
Well, there's a psychology behind it. Some people say that, that you think you're not moving it, but really you are. Or who knows, right? The thing is very flimsy. It's very light. It's easy to just rest your hand on like something like this and actually yes, that type. Like if I put my hand up and like just keep it there, it's gonna end up shit. It's very light. It's like you have to put, even if you were to just
put a little bit of pressure on it, it moves. So it's just trying to like have it even stay. You might accidentally move it, which is why it's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you get a message or anything?
No.
Oh.
No, it's just looking back, I was like, why did I do that? Like, my sister, who was sick, like, at the time, just was in the house, and it was probably, like, inappropriate for us to do.
So you guys were like, let's do it.
It was just there, and, like, the guys saw it, and they were like, oh, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Let's do it. Yeah, that type of thing.
Oh, that's fine. No messages, though. You guys were like, oh, okay. What did it...
I wasn't looking for any, you know, I mean...
But, like, I mean, it didn't, like, move on any, like... You guys
I've experienced stuff, and that just wasn't one of those times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just wasn't it, for sure.
Oh, that's crazy, man. What'd you experience?
If you want to experience stuff like this, I forgot. I feel like it was this girl, this ex that I had, freshman year of college. She would like talk to ghosts like all the time.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and I just felt like she kind of opened up like some portal or something.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't want it at all. But like, my first apartment. I remember. Do you remember my first apartment?
Oh, yep.
That one. I was
The one at Bay Meadows, right? Yeah.
no. That was my second apartment.
Well, yeah, I went there because we went there one time. I didn't know you too well, but yeah. I knew what you were talking about. You had a wraparound porch.
No, we didn't have we had a porch, but it wasn't wraparound. It was a screened in. But I would just always like feel like I would see like something moving around in the kitchen, like from a distance, and that would like weird from like under a couch. And then I went down by like, I just said, stop it.
And it stopped?
Stop bothering me. Yeah. I heard like this like disturbing kind of noise. It was like screeching.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you end up? Did you move out like after like a few weeks after that or what?
Yeah. I said it when I knew I was moving out. I felt leaving, you know, and I felt like it was following me back and stuff because like my door would like, I would go back to Orlando and like, my door would like suddenly slam shut and stuff like that. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, motherfucker.
That's crazy.
And that all ended. Definitely made me stronger for the next thing.
Yeah.
Were you weren't there when we went to Fort Lauderdale for Haiti Pie, right? Were you there?
No, but this is going to be a crazy story. Go on.
Okay. And you've heard.
No, I mean, I don't know.
You know about the drive from Miami.
Oh,
You've heard that story and you remember it?
don't
You basically remember it?
fucking. What's crazy is that I've heard this same circumstance, not the same exact story, but like the same by like other people, like just randomly all throughout. Like I'll tell them like, oh, Shake had this experience one time, and like I talked to a college professor at UCF, and they were like, that's crazy because
You talked about
this. Yeah, I tell them like, you know the. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I've talked to like a handful of other people who were like, really? I thought I was insane. I had other experience too, just like that. I bet like 4 people since you told me that, like, I don't know, 2018 or whatever.
Yeah. It's a I tell a story. I'm intrigued. What you think? Probably where you think it's go.
Okay.
It's exactly, if you took 3 guesses, it's
I went up with my friend from I drove from Fort Lauderdale to Aventura, meeting up with my friend from Birthright. And
worse than South Florida.
yeah, and then I drove back. And I'm around Lake Jupiter area. Are you familiar with South Florida? The northernmost part of South Florida, like northern Palm Beach.
Okay.
Right where you just start kind of getting into, like around these parts, like right before it ends down there.
Okay. We're getting close.
Yeah, so Jupiter, I'm like right past it, and then I see all these like lights in the distance. And I think, oh, it's like maybe a football field in the distance, you know what I mean? Like the lights. Okay. And I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's helicopters or something.
Were they flashing or was it?
All of a sudden, it wasn't flashing. It was just a few. And I felt like I kept seeing more.
So this is on your drive? This is on your, do you remember what?
White light?
I was going like 80.
Was it like a white light or was it?
Yeah, like a what?
Like it's not a white.
Like a street light. I thought it were street lights. I thought it was
Like how much?
like a high school football field lights. They kept multiplying. No, they weren't moving. That's the thing. They weren't moving. I kept driving closer, and you would think that they would move in some capacity because of how fast I'm driving. And
Yeah.
they shouldn't be in one place. Like they're like, what are they, super far away or something? Are they huge? You know? And I noticed like just more lights. I'm like, what? Like I don't see them popping up. I just see more around me. You know what I mean? And then I try to get it on my phone, and my phone it's not working. It's pitch black.
What?
And I feel like the whole thing was maybe like only like 10 minutes at most. That's so long. After all of that maneuvering,
Yeah.
like it feels like there's a right. It was like it became like stars around, like how many lights there were. Yo, and my phone like still wasn't getting it. I'm like, what's all right?
And you knew beforehand, before you checked your phone, like it was like fully charged or whatever.
I wasn't scared. I was just trying to document it. Like, and I'm just driving straight 8.
Was your phone on or was it just like?
Yeah, it was on. It was dark. It was just pitch black. I was able to open the camera app like this, but it was just looking like that.
Oh, okay. Just couldn't get a good.
And just
Oh, okay.
it wasn't able to get the lights. It was just showing up a dark screen. But like right after all of that, it only takes like 10 minutes, not even 15 minutes, in getting onto I-4, and that drive should have taken 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so what, did you check like the time or something? Like was it 10 minutes? Like was it like, I don't know, like 1 a.m. and then 1:10?
I didn't think to verify that.
Yeah.
I didn't think to verify like if I lost time or something. And then I tell this story to people, and most people, they tend to have whatever you're thinking in your head about what happened to me.
Well, I don't.
A possibility.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like alien UFOs.
People, I don't know. I dealt an argument and that I lost my memory. They're like, I don't know. You know what I mean? All I do know is that it took me maybe 20 minutes at most. Yeah, that's being very generous to get from Jupiter back.
Do you remember the whole drive in between Jupiter and like getting on I-4?
Yeah, just the lights, just me, just seeing
All the lights in like Jupiter, and next thing you know, you're like
getting on I-4.
Wow. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think happened?
I don't know. I know it was something, but I don't know if it was supernatural. I don't know if it was like alien. I don't know if it maybe is both. I think it was something, though. I think it was something unnatural, if that made sense.
Okay.
But it's just not, I don't know if it was alien or supernatural. That's what I don't know. That's the question. Like,
I heard that from a couple of people, and then like them directly, and then I've heard about it from like people like, oh, my aunt had that experience, like said the same thing, but it's like it's always on the road.
Oh my! On the same road.
From like Savannah to Daytona, when it happened like 10 minutes later, she was pulling into her house. No recollection. Or like this one professor at UCF, I don't remember her name, but she was like, yeah, I was driving near Maitland, I-4 near Maitland, and then I saw flashing lights, and next thing you know, I'm like in a parking lot in Winter Park, and 4 hours have passed, and I wasn't even like asleep,
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
wow. It's one of Nikola Tesla's inventions for sure.
Nikola Tesla's fucking around with people.
Yeah. It's great.
Flying.
Maybe it's future people, maybe it's time travel, or it's future fluid.
No joke, dude. I'm sure we're like, every time you told me that, I thought you were stoned, right? I was like, nah, shit, he's probably just stoned when I mean, listen, it's kind of like, it's pretty, well, like, that's pretty fucking crazy.
I'm not making another shit.
No, I believe you, bro. Especially, it's crazy that you don't have people.
And I was like, yeah, whoa, like people who are not like you know.
Well, they don't know you.
So it's like, yeah, like boomers.
And I'm not. We're not. I don't have like an interest in this stuff.
No. What I'm saying, it's like you hear the story over and over again. It's like, oh, but there's something to it.
Yeah, I didn't play.
Yeah.
I don't have an interest. I didn't ask to these out that we were just hunting.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just happened right. I do. I really chirped.
Chirped up a little bit, man, and I found some people chirping at you too.
What do you mean?
You know, like you spoke up a little bit about this weird scenario.
Oh, I didn't.
And like other people started chirping a little bit.
And they're like, oh yeah, that actually.
They're like, oh,
Yeah, but that wasn't the first time. I think it could be maybe supernatural just because nothing ever happened until I dated that girl. And while I was dating that girl, we met up at like in between Jacksonville and Orlando at the state park.
Yeah.
And it was at Saturday night. She literally saw this like old like colonial like ghost soldier. And then she was like, oh shit, what's that? And I didn't catch it. But next thing I know, there's 2 handprints on my front window.
Yo.
They just suddenly appear. And I'm like,
What the?
yeah.
and then I look back, I'm like, this fucking girl, like, she got me all like, she got like,
What is she up to now?
I don't know. I think she just has like a family or something.
Like of like alive people or like dead people?
Whoa.
No,
Oh.
You sure she was like taking care of kids or?
yeah, it was babies.
That's funny. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
That's crazy, man.
That's a great.
You know, like, look, there's one really recent one, and I'll like wrap up that subject because there's like I can go on about it. I was with my girlfriend and we're just in her bed, and she's talked about many times, like about her grandmother, when she knows when her dead grandmother's around because she can smell her perfume.
Could you smell it too when she?
So when she, and I was able to smell it last time, and she says that she has smelled it before after we had like maybe an argument, and I guess her grandmother appears, you know, and after that, but we had like a little bit of an argument, but I didn't like leave. Usually I'd like maybe like distance myself for a little bit after something that we were, you know, I was still there and the smell was there and it was intense as hell. I was like,
Really like a pleasant smell, like perfume.
yeah, it was like it smells like an old lady. It did, huh? But it's like a vintage, like, it looked like imagine walking to some old lady's house.
Like my
Grandma's house. Yeah, that type. It's no, not brothers, but had that musky perfumey. And I get that. And I was just like, that's strong. And it was there for like an hour. And she's like, yeah, she won't leave. I'm like, tell her to leave.
I don't want her in the room.
Yeah, and I think after that, the smell started. But I think once she heard that, yeah, she left. I was like, all right, enough. Yeah, so right. It's been an hour of us sitting here in your bed with your grandmother's ghost, okay? Just casually with your dog, like, we do something normal now.
Yeah. So it's I'm at to the bare minimum.
Your casually, your grandmother's ghost is right here.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, that's so funny. I went to volunteer for what was it? The Special Olympics, Textron Aviation, and I met these guys that worked in corporate, and they gave me some like funny like spooky stories too. You know, apparently they went to this one house where there was it's like apparently it used to be haunted, and people go there because it's like, you know, it's supposed to be stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they told, I forgot what object it was or something, but they told them like, yo, like whatever you do, don't grab this object. So like, you know,
but that's what you wanted, man.
And so then they're like, after someone grabbed it, they're like, okay, they started seeing some weird shit, and then they're like, all right, apparition, yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, that's crazy. I think that's the last time I've heard like ghost stories.
That's the one thing I want. I don't want an apparition.
What is it? Apparition? What is that?
Where you see the ghost.
Oh, you literally see it.
We literally see like a transparent figure thing floating.
That's what your girlfriend could see, right? She could actually see like physically.
She's like one time saw so the house she grew up in in Sanford, she one time saw like a Native American in full garb like walk through her, and that she saw something like this, like sit down, like she saw like something sit, like she saw it move
On her IKEA time.
on her IKEA
futon, yeah, like an IKEA futon.
maybe it was
Why is it usually imprint?
Cheap yellow.
yeah it doesn't pass, you know, and it doesn't help that you're not going it doesn't help that I have a second girlfriend and two with all this shit.
Oh, you have one girlfriend?
Well, no,
Now you have a newer girlfriend.
well, I had first my ex in college. She just like she would talk to her grandmother via children who were able to channel her grandmother. She'd be like basically like a random like 3-year-old would be like Andrea says hello or something like that. What the? Yeah, now this summer, yeah, that type of thing. And then my girlfriend, she's Caribbean and has all of she has like some like witchcraft in her background. And no incest. You got a type, bro. You got a type Amalade. I do. I've been there with her for nearly 4 years. I didn't know till like a year in. That this is in her family.
Yeah, you got type, man. Yeah, you still know that. I get it.
I guess not. No.
Maybe that should be one of the first things you ask, right? When you're meeting someone. Hey, so what's your spooky story?
If the universe is trying to pull me towards certain people, I don't want to know it. I don't make it obvious. You know what I mean?
That's
like I said. I don't want to see an apparition.
Yeah,
that would be a bit too much.
I wouldn't either. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, something right now.
Yeah, like oh shit.
You'd freeze. You wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. I'd be like, oh, you want to introduce yourself on the podcast? I don't know what the fuck I would do.
Get going now, shoo.
Huh?
Say you get going, you better get going.
Yeah, literally like, hey, we're having a conversation. We're getting out there. Shit.
I think if anything, like something electronic would happen. You would like some sort of disturbance. That's just definitely what it seems like to me.
Be pretty fucking
like the supernatural. Like if let's treat them very. Let's just
say sort of like electric ghost would be cheap.
Like assuming a ghost.
That'd be dope.
Like a ghost and supernatural exists. They definitely like interfere with technology. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Yeah, for sure. Like that whole poltergeist.
Yeah.
Thing. Which is apparently based off of true events, and apparently like you're cursed if you watch the whole movie or some shit like that.
Okay, yeah.
And apparently like the whole cast of the movie, like they all like experienced a bunch of shit during when it was filmed.
Oh no shit. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. What kind of stuff would they experience?
Like the actual stuff that they were filming about.
Oh really? Yeah.
Except it was happening to them offset.
Yeah. Oh,
because they were filming.
Yeah.
Something based off of real experiences, like at the house that it happened. Oh, it was like a Native American burial site or some shit. You know what I mean? I could have my facts wrong about that. There could be someone who will be like a poltergeist movie expert. Sure, the poltergeist, that definitely was not how it was filmed. It was definitely not at the original house. Obviously, either way, it was based off of events, and all the cast, like whenever it was filmed, they all reported that they experience a whole bunch of things.
That's crazy.
Anyway,
yeah, so crazy.
Well, what would you say? Like, I'm gonna switch it to aviation. What would you say? Like same thing. How you were saying how you feel like there was like a calling, or like just like having the universe kind of align itself. Have you noticed how you've gotten in touch with aviation, or for both of you guys? Yeah.
So you can go first, Jeremy.
Yeah, go ahead. How'd you get into it? How'd you find aviation?
I don't know. I guess I just kind of always I don't remember there ever being a time. Yeah. But I remember Let me try and think, I guess. Way back.
I know your families had like they've had history too in aviation, yeah.
No one in that family has been in like aviation. Both my parents, they haven't traveled, like too much by airplanes. I've never had a grandparent who was like a pilot or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm first generation. Basically anything travel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's been pretty entrepreneurial, just getting involved. You know what I'm saying? Never really had like anyone in my family is like, meet my friend, or like meet this other person, he's a pilot, family friend, or like meet, or like I'll take you to the airport. Like my dad doesn't fly really. Mom is like, I think she dated a fighter pilot when she was younger, around like my age, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. But there was like different steps of involvement. Since I can remember, I've always wanted my own airline, but there's never really been like a point of realization, or nothing was like, this is it. But I do remember my grandfather, my grandmother, same ones that I was talking about earlier, the ones who passed first.
Mm-hmm.
But remember something about my grandma. She was they came to visit around like every Thanksgiving, and for the high holidays, that's what we call the like Jewish holidays. It was like just a bunch of group of holidays that are kind of like all within the same month, give or take. And they came in for that. Or like hanging out. They're playing with me in the living room of that my childhood house.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother was like, "You're a little bit different, so we're gonna have to figure out a way to make your own future." And they're kind of stuck. And that, I don't know, that was kind of like the convergence, I guess. But I just kind of always knew. I never really
knew what do you mean?
I just wanted my own airline.
Yeah.
And then there's other things too. There's other points of like other stuff I want to get into. But I've just kind of always known it. I tried to be a pilot, I'm saying, like go one specific path.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it does kind of like cause a little bit of like emotional pain to dedicate myself to one thing. So I could be, let's say flight operations or finance or whatever.
Yeah.
One specific job bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's anything that could really be fit as naturally as just being, for lack of better words, an entrepreneur within aviation. There's no limit as what I can get involved in. And, there's no one above me saying you can only work 40 hours, or if you have 8 hours of overtime that you're allowed per week.
Yeah, you're independent.
Or you have to work, 40 hours. No, you cannot, work at your own schedule. And then, if you're lucky, you get promoted and get to do something different. You have to reapply. But when you own the company, when you're in charge of it, you get to just kind of positions sideways at will and fill in, do this, do that. Figure out something you like to do in addition to being in charge. And then it's, usually you just kind of find an activity and you take on the new job title too. So it's like quantifiable as well.
Yeah.
So I like the involvement, and I think basically ever since I can remember, the involvement, the pursuit of making an airline is it's that.
That's good. That's so funny that you mentioned about like saying that you started out, wanting to be a pilot, and then but it's like it's only that one thing, And when you said that, I was like, holy shit, I really resonate with that.
Yeah, because I was thinking,
So that's crazy that you mentioned that.
At some point, business side of the airlines, maybe scheduling, maybe dispatch. Even thought about becoming a physician and like human factors in aviation, coming up with safety protocols, a safety specialist, right?
Yeah.
But all of these things together, it's like you can never really, you go to be a safety specialist, right? Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But you never really get to load bags onto an airplane, touch and feel the bottom of the engine and, you know, spin the engine a little bit while the doors are closed.
Yeah.
The plane's sitting around. But if you own the airline, then
You can do whatever you want. Yeah. It's yours. It's going to tell you no.
with the pilot and the flight attendant at the same time. But you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no limit.
Yeah, there is no limit.
It makes more sense.
Yeah. I was thinking about it too, like business-wise.
And the business part is thrilling.
I mean, it's true. Well, I mean, you're building something. Yeah. Yeah, you get to create it how you want to do it, and you get to work the hours you want to work. And it's usually, it ends up being more because you're really invested in what you're doing.
And it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, when you build something, and at the end of the day, you're like, holy shit, I got this done. I made it.
Little things of this, like you could take a little bit of inspiration for some, or like you could just kind of get to make your own tool set through various things in life, whether it be inspiration from like a fucking object or conversation.
Yeah.
Or basically anything at all. Like, not only when you create a company can you, to make it like universally understood, you have to call it like a company, right? Or you call it a job. It's not really that. It's like a mission, but the way the society we live in, you have to call what you do for your work on a daily basis your job. You have to call it a company, right? So we're just gonna keep it, under those basic terms. Never make it too confusing. But in order to make a company, like you could just kind of build your own, not only like company, you don't have to only build or like paint your own picture. But if you want to, you can also make your own brushes. You can make your own paint as well. I mean, you're getting like 10 levels deep, but like you're going from knee deep to like neck deep and and fucking just submerge in total involvement.
Yeah.
But if you like swimming, then I'm hating that it's a good match.
Yeah. What does it make any sense? No, it makes sense. Or, or diving in, and going how deep, you don't know how deep it is, but you're just fucking exploring, whatever's, in the waters. I think companies are like living entities, like it's almost its own being. Cause think about it. You build something big enough or any operation, right? It's like, it's almost like a human being or, like a living being. You got the head of the guy who's creating everything, who's building.
Like you don't even.
Then he got the hands. No, I think it's like a living, breathing thing that has operations and move. Like, think about it. Like the cells in your body, like as an organism. I mean, you don't necessarily tell it what to do, but it's like it's almost like, imagine it be like little people fucking working and having some of your body,
showing up happy.
Yeah, you got like red blood cells, your butt, or your gut biome. I said butt, your gut biome.
Yeah,
like
your butt will feel better too.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's how the same thing like companies work. It ends up being like a whole ass, entity or living thing, living and breathing thing. And you're the one that gets to build it and see how it is and like seeing like, it's never, I think it's never like really a final product when you're building something, but you can, as a business owner or an entrepreneur, you can always, sell off your company or anything and build it up because you have more ideas, but you're probably invested in that company itself, and you'll find someone who shares the same values and stuff of the company, and then you get to go and build this other huge entity that becomes a huge thing, and its own, it's, I don't know, it's like its own thing in the world.
You're opening up, shit just kind of works out.
Yeah, it's crazy, but that's basically,
but not the way you anticipate it.
And I feel like aviation, and just getting back into that, is just a natural transition for me. And my work is like, if I don't work, like that's the company. The company is dead if I'm not logged in working. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm like the organism that keeps it alive, for sure. Yeah. And for me, it's a natural transition, just being like a travel aficionado, not being well traveled and being very just knowledgeable about just being like every place in the world. And right now, focus like where I've been focusing recently on like cruise vessels, getting into getting into planes. It's like a natural transition for me, especially since so many of the trips I do are one way. Like I tell you, like I've been saying, a lot of old timers, looking for a one-way ticket.
Like we were saying earlier, right? Yeah, people will get their tickets just to die on the
fall into America. They do a lot of world cruises where a lot of old people are expecting to not come back from.
That's funny. I'm sure they expect that. They have the crew.
Those ships expect like 20 of their passengers. Redo, yeah.
Like a home. What do they do with the bodies? Do they still hang aboard, or like international waters, or what?
No, they keep it around until they can
properly
before they return to port. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they can't just drop it off anywhere. There's a morgue. Every ship has a morgue.
Yeah, Mona and Discovery Channel one.
Yeah. Royal Caribbean probably is only gonna have they'll be able to have 3-4 bodies at most. But a Princess or Holland America might be able to take up to 30.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So how do they die on the cruise? Do they just close their eyes and they're like,
"This is it.
It's time."
It's time. I'm sure they feel it.
These cruises go on for a really long time, and I don't know. If you're out at sea for a long time, maybe you get confused as to what your needs are, as to what time it is, maybe, especially if you're up in near Alaska or something during the summer, the sun's never setting.
What time is it?
Yeah, if you're really old, that can confuse some guys.
It's time to that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe they just become at peace with what they're fucking doing.
Like, oh, I'm gonna feel free out at sea, and it's. And I don't blame them for doing it. I don't. I really don't. These are people who have lived long lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They were able to live. They want to go out that way. Yeah. That's all it is.
So how does that relate to the aviation side? You're saying?
Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, does it? Oh,
I'm just saying I book a lot of I book a lot of one-way tickets. Yeah,
that's
round trips too. Yeah. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's funny how people will do that.
Yeah, I booked one earlier today. I feel
oh, I know damn well this person's about to
going back to their home in Plymouth, England. They're not coming back.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
That's the reverse Mayflower, dude. You remember Mayflower left for Plymouth?
Oh, there you go.
They reverse Mayflower. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So what about you, Jacob? What do you have any goals for aviation, or what have you explored, or what are you
I definitely want to be just what are you looking into? Be a travel entrepreneur. And I want to be someone that the first point of contact for everything traveling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just stuff that I can do, but just questions that I can answer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I want, someone who wants a flight. They want a flight, a cruise to get there, and then a land and then a land resort to stop at. I want to be that first point of contact, and I want to be I want to have a business where I'm well known, to do all those things for people. An exclusive itinerary for everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying, bro. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have someone that has certain being able to do that. You definitely need to know a lot of the people in aviation, or just networking in general, right?
Yeah.
To be able to book stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
I book a lot of people go in Alaska, and sometimes they just want to take a ship back. You know?
What do you mean?
So some people like for example, I was talking about like those one-way cruises.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will go up to Alaska for a while one way, and then want another Alaska cruise back down. Two separate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why they go?
Maybe they kicked the can on the second one, or what?
They're gonna have to go around for another shot. What are they worried about? Saving money if they're dead.
Right.
Well, these are people who plan on being alive. Actually, these are round trippers. These are not wait to Vancouver to Alaska, staying there for a while, and then Alaska back to Vancouver. So yeah,
You know what I mean? Because they don't care about, or they care about coming back home as opposed to other people. They're like, I don't care how long I'm out there for.
Maybe maybe they're like, if I die out there, whenever, but at least I have a nice trip back. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Many people want to go to Alaska for sketchy reasons. It's always been sketchy.
They have a good aviation background there, I guess. A lot of people, I think, I heard it's more popular to travel instead of a car, right?
And that's so, that helps, like, that's already been my niche for a while. Aviation is very common there. Like, it's something that people do every day there, like driving a car. Like, you have to literally fly on a plane to travel to, like, the store or something sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally, yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
And a question that came up for me was, and anyone can answer this. It's like when you're starting to do, any sort of like, entrepreneurship or starting to go out, and try to do your own thing. I feel like a big part about, doing business or being an entrepreneur is like, you fail a lot, but you have to pick yourself back up and keep going forward.
You handle the rejection and know something.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you guys have any like tips or tricks that you guys use when shit hits the fan or whatever?
I mean, if you let it get to you, then that's you're signing yourself up for failure.
A one-way ticket, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you have to know. You to like, when you do something independent or entrepreneurial, you have to know what you're getting into. It's a bit naive to think that you won't face rejection the first time around. Like, you can't walk into something expecting success without really putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone who's experienced success has experienced rejection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just it's necessary. If anything, it makes you better, I think.
Yeah. I remember we practice that, or we had like we did team training, Jeremy, and we had like a training of some sort of that. We talked about it, and didn't we go to like Starbucks or something, or we were supposed to ask some question or something and get fear of rejection. Do you remember that? And then you're telling me about how when you're flying, you'll just ask for first class or whatever, and worst case is that they say no, right? But it's a good practice to just
Does it work?
to just do. Yeah, it's worked for him. Yeah.
You just ask for first class?
Yeah, how you say no to these blue eyes, man?
There you go. The charm. I know Jerry charm.
Yeah.
Is it like when you go to a hotel in Vegas and slip like a 20 or 50, you get a much sweeter room type of thing?
You had a method to it.
Well, you don't have no forgot what it worked. I did need that.
It's food.
Oh, yeah.
You bring like donuts to the gate, and you're like,
Well, hey, what's
up?
I was thinking, slip a 20 in there.
That's what I mean. I feel like that's not like personal enough, right? Like just having like.
No, I mean, it's great conversation, man. Like on an objective conversation or whatever. Like kind of like forget that you're gonna enable first class,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yeah, every time I've done that, well, not every time, but I was like, maybe on a buddy pass? Sometimes. But there was one time where it did kind of, maybe shouldn't have said some things, but said some things, and some people got a little upset.
So no first class that time. The actual passengers or the
I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
This was like one of the times I was like, all right, things got a little too comfortable. We got a little too cocky. Like, they didn't turn me down for first class for a bit, so for the last few flights. So I got a little, started spreading my legs. I was on a Spirit flight, and I was using one of my friend's buddy passes. And apparently on Spirit flights, right? Or like as using a buddy pass, you have to be like professional or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the back galley and to talk to I used the bathroom, talk to the flight attendants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were just chatting it up with me. They were like, how do you know Caleb? That's not the flight attendant's name, but I won't say his name because,
Yep. Confidential reasons. Yeah, come on.
But they were like, what do you do? Like, how do you know Caleb? I was like, aviation stuff. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, well, when you're flying at night and you see those shooting stars outside? And flight attendants are like, yeah. Like, you work for like Lockheed Martin or something? And I was like, no, those shooting stars, that's my company. Like, what do you mean? Like, you work for, I was like, no, it's my company. And one of the flight attendants got really, like, she started just trolling me. She got really, oh yeah, I don't have a shooting star. But she started like quivering a little bit. And like, yeah, we were all like, oh, that's okay. Yeah. And she slapped up her jump seat, locked it in place, and like just kind of stormed to the front and like sat back down in the front galley. And we're like,
what? She just got mad? Like, yeah. Why did she get? Oh, because she probably knew you were trolling or what?
I don't know, man. No, she thought I was serious, or maybe she just had it out for me. But yeah. Well, anyways, like 4 days later, I get a call from my friend, a text from my friend. He's like, hey, yeah, like next time you use my buddy pass, you got to be really professional next time. I got a complaint on there from the scheduler, right? The scheduler's like, whatever. But she said, he said that one of the flight attendants, you told her that you had a carry-on full of open liquor and that you make missiles. And I was like,
Is this when you do flights? You fuck with the flight attendant?
That's why I love floating conversation, bro. I'm pretty sure, and I didn't even have a carry-on.
You just saw some shit outside. It said that's your compass. Yeah, you're like, yeah, you see the shooting star out.
We're 40 down cruise feet above Denver or something.
Unfortunately, this section of the show was lost. However, it is pretty funny since they end up getting called back, or Jeremy gets a call back saying not to mess with the flight attendants anymore. But later on, he talks about how he had the perfect date, that he found this girl on a plane, and he explains some of the story here. But also, you'll see some of the story explained further in the next part 2 of this show.
But and then we exchanged numbers, and she did the whole like LinkedIn thing, like, oh, I'd love to connect and learn more about you. And I was like, you want to go on a date to Universal next?
I don't think you do that.
Yeah. I don't. Whenever you're shot, like I'm not like going back and forth. I'm like, I'll barely text him at all, but I'll be like, can you meet me here at Park Avenue at like 2 p.m. Wednesday afternoon?
I feel like that's how
Jet coffee, and if not, we'll reschedule. But if it goes on, I'm just like, all right, toss him to the side, I guess. Like, yeah, toss out the application.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened. We went to Universal. I can show you pictures. She was really good. Well, it's a really good time, but we just kind of went, our separate ways. And she was, I think, I was 24 at the time. She was 22. So I think, what? You're 26.
Yeah. Keep pretending you're my exact age.
Yeah. Huh. You went, you said, yeah.
The 1 year, yeah, but you didn't, you graduated a different year.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So it was one of those things that we went to Universal. It was a lovely time. I held her hand and we kissed at the parking lot. And it was, like I said, it was a good time. It was a magical time.
Oh, but
No, like it was like a nice experience.
I have a exact opposite experience when I went the first time dated Universal.
Well, yeah, don't get me wrong. Most of them are quite the inverse of this. Like, like this kid did kind of like she was. I don't think I said her name, so I'll say this. She was, you know, when someone has like a parent who's an alcoholic, really, they're like recovering alcoholic. It's a pretty sad situation, but it is what it is, you know. But hey, watch it.
Oh, no, I'm laughing because I don't know where you're going with that.
No. I think she had like a really well concealed, but like budding alcohol problem. It was like she would text me. She'd be like, and she went to UF at the time, right? So she would text me and she'd be like going out tonight. But every night that she went out, every drink that she had wasn't just like one drink. It wasn't two drinks. It would be a beer and then going completely blacked out. If not, you know,
Fully what?
Yeah. So you can kind of see the patterns that she was worried about. Her mom was an alcoholic, like really, really bad, almost lost everything, right, in her life. But you kind of see these patterns in people that like, oh, you're worried about being an alcoholic too because it can run in genetics. Or
Yeah, I was going to say, right, yeah.
but you're worried about it. You don't want to be like your mom, but you're also
Drink it.
when you have a drink, you're not doing anything about it. So like, you may not be an alcoholic now to maybe just be totally fine, right? Overall, it makes fine now. But like, I see the writing on the wall, you know. Like, if you don't develop the habits now when you're 22 to say, I'll have a drink or two, then it's like, when are you going to do it? You know, like what's the point in which you draw the line that says like, if I cross this line, I'm liable to end up like my mother, right? And then something that a lot of alcoholics do when you call them out on it, or you try to have a conversation, is they freak out. You know, I had a conversation with her. I was like, you know, I really like you, but I'm concerned that you drink a little bit too much, and you say that you don't want to be like your mom, but I don't, in all honesty, I don't see you taking the measures to not end up like your mom, right? And I'm like, listen, I get it, but, you know, this has got to change or else I got to, you know, head on out.
Yeah.
And she snapped at me. She was like, this is not true. You know nothing about me. It was just like one of those typical things. Like, if you're an alcoholic,
Yeah, you're going to
you like denial. All of it. When I look at someone, you're like, and they know that you like got them like in a very vulnerable spot. It was like that. It was, but I was like, and then she kind of attacked me because did mushrooms, and she was like, well, you do mushrooms, you're gonna turn out being an addict. And I was like, no one's ever.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Yeah, no one's ever died from mushroom overdose. No one's ever like, you know, ended up behind the Winn-Dixie because stopped.
It's not for me, but I've seen one person do it ever, and they took 5 grams at once, and it made them quit cigarettes for the rest.
Yeah, I've really felt like alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? Like, people's lives aren't like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you get home and you drink a bottle of whiskey yeah, that's a problem. Mushrooms, I did it once. And like mushrooms once, and she was like, I can't handle that. You're a fucking druggie.
Well, she probably was trying to snap back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding
So it was somewhat romantic up until that point. Oh, the date at Universal was too good to be true.
almost too, but it was just like, it was nice. It was the first time in my life that it was just, you know, like fresh out, like independent, you know, and pay for my ticket, you know, Universal.
Yeah.
And like the world was still kind of new in terms of like my career and the fact that I can just like go and travel. You know what I'm saying? Like go and travel for work.
Yeah.
Feel like a mensch, which is like a nice young man.
Yeah,
I've been trying to see it.
Yeah, appreciate you having me for, you know, the podcast and everything.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah, thanks for having me.
And it's just getting to that time because
I haven't even like looked at my phone, honestly. What time was it? Oh, was it 12? Oh, we were on for. Well, I got here at 10. Got to 10. Yeah, about 2 hours. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. I wonder. I don't know why it got cut out. I hope it didn't get cut out too early. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to sound.
You just let it on, or
I usually just let it run and I put it on automatic. This is the first time where I noticed like that it like cut. So hopefully I'll have some stuff. I don't know when it stopped. It said stopped for like 2,000 bars or something. I don't know.
About 2,000 bars.
I don't know. Sandy's.
That's by Danny.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, appreciate you having me. I'll catch y'all later for sure.
All right. Hey,
I'll see you again.
yes, sir.
See you, Shake.
Yep, take it easy, Jeremy. See you later, Danny.
Right.
Yep.
Slide by soon, man.
Yep. The rest of the session.
If you've gotten this far into the podcast, I appreciate you. In part 2 of this episode, Jeremy Janousky focuses more on business aviation as we have a good time. Stay tuned for part 2 to be released in the next couple of days. Until then, thanks for listening and see you next time.